Expert Bob Rosner is here with some tips on spotting violence. So how do you do it?
Well, my sense is we're all a little more on our own than we'd like to be. So that's why I wanted to cover this topic tonight. Violence at work. Most of us don't want to think about it. We don't want to plan for it. It's just too depressing. But it's been on the increase since 2008. And this lack of attention that we put into violence at work can put us all at greater risk. So here are some early warning signals to spot potential violence in the work, unusual behavior or acting out. Here are a few specific things that you can be on the lookout for. Disruptive behavior, aggressive, hostile, or abusive behaviors. Now, this is from a study by Allied Barton. Now, it makes sense to pay attention to each, not only to reduce violence, but to be supportive of potentially troubled coworkers. Here are 4 strategies to help you maneuver through this minefield. Pay attention. There's so much stress in the workplace that it's easy to blow off the warning signals. Don't. Escape routes and safe spots. Imagine what you would do if violence happened in your office. How would you get out? Are there safe spots to hide? Thinking through this stuff in advance can make a huge difference in staying safe. Report it. 2/3 of the people who observed or experienced violence in the workplace report it, but 1/3 don't. It's important to not only report incidents of violence, but to let your supervisor or HR know if you see any of those warning signals I talked about earlier. And if violence happens, immediately notify security or 911. Stay calm and listen. Remaining calm with an agitated person can make a huge difference in diffusing a potentially violent situation. Now, I'm not saying you should play cop or hostage negotiator, but remaining calm is a key to surviving one of those situations. Now, let's all work together to prevent violence before anyone else gets hurt.
Well, you talked about this, looking out for the warning signs, but let's be honest, people are unpredictable. It is difficult to tell somebody is just having a bad day, or they may be acting out because something more serious is going on.
Well, the key is you've got to pay attention. According to these studies, disruptive and rowdy behavior is reported by approximately 1 in 5 of those surveys. The recession is making all of this worse. So I'm not saying that you should report everything you see, but you should have your antenna up and you should be paying attention. A lot of us assume that work is really safe, and it's not. We've got to be paying attention to these early trigger signs.
How about the difference between men and women and their concerns? What did you find?
I'm totally befuddled by this one, to be honest, Marnie. Studies show that women have a higher likelihood of being personally affected by violence at work. I'm not saying that's right. That's what the studies say. But only 21% of women, about 1 in 5, expressed concerns about violence in the workplace. The percentage for men expressing concerns about violence in the workplace was double that at 46%. It's totally perplexing to me.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
We know what we're capable of as men.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Men know what other men may be capable of because maybe they're going through the same thing.
So when you do a report like this, you don't want to stir up fear in people.
Right.
But that 21% of the women not being as concerned about it makes me worried. And it says that your antenna as a woman have to be up higher in the workplace in terms of paying attention.
I think that's extremely surprising because I think our antennas just naturally, being women, are always up. I mean, whether you're at work or you're not. So I'm amazed by that.
Is that so, do women just accept it? Is that why that number is so low?
No,
it was confusing.
I don't know.
No, except that they have to be on guard.
Right. Yeah. Yes, I do think that women accept that, but I do think that they always are. So that's
and now they know they need to report it more often.
Yes, we know what to do.
Yeah.
I think if we pull together, we can create a safer workplace, but only when we report it and we stand up for each other.
Good morning. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.